It's Wednesday afternoon, 7th of June. Yesterday we had gale force winds all day. Today, according to the weather forecast, the winds died down. Sorry about all the wind noise on the mic, it hasn't died down. It's not quite as bad as it was. I'm going to have a look around the plot, see if there's any damage. Starting off from where we parked the car, first thing I can see is that Sue's not going to be happy with the flowers. She had quite a nice half a bed of cornflowers which sort of have taken the full brunt of a westerly gale and now sort of lean at 45 degrees. They may well stand up with a bit of effort, but certainly the wind has made a mess of them. Sweet peas, well, they don't look too bad. Maybe not tall enough to have been battered too much by the wind. On this side, our summer onions have definitely got a sort of westerly lean, but I think they'll be alright. They certainly can't exactly support onions. So let's have a look down the plot. Potatoes don't look so bad. This bit of the plot's probably sheltered from the worst of the westerlies by plum trees and greengage trees. The onions, the autumn onions, well, it's blown some out of the ground. They were ready to harvest, but it's been strong enough to actually blow some of these out of the ground completely. But I guess they're ready to harvest, so damage wise, minimal. Broad beans, they look worse than they do. They've stood up reasonably well. They have, like everything else, a westerly lean, but I think they'll be alright, they'll recover. Wandering round this side of the plot, tall stuff stood up reasonably well, not too much damage, netting still in place. Trees don't look too bad, they're used to this, even though normally we only get this sort of wind when the trees aren't in leaf, but they've always had a westerly lean. It does get really windy on the plot and the trees suffer quite a bit, but they're not too bad, they'll be okay. Sue's buddleias have taken a bit of a battering. I think they'll recover, but as you can see, some of the branches have just been snapped off completely, but I'll take that as minimal damage because the wind was awful. So I'll wander round to the other half of the plot that doesn't get any shelter. Kiwi on the fence. I did wonder about this fence because it's got sort of a few posts to hold it in place, but it looks to have survived. And the first view over this part of the plot, I can tell you now that the cardin's been absolutely battered. Squeeze this way round past the tree. So far nothing looking too bad, so sweet peas seem to be doing well. The squashes look to be a bit wind battered. still being wind battered. I'd like to know in what weather forecast this is the wind has died down. They look like they need some water, but I don't think that's the case. I just think the wind has just battered them to bits. Similarly, French beans and runner beans look a bit worse for wear, but still there. Leaves not shredded. I thought they might have had the leaves shredded, but still okay. Let's have a look. Tomato plants, well, some have laid down in the face of the gale, but most are still standing. Raspberries, summer raspberries, definitely got a lean. We'll have a wander around now, have a look at the cardoons. As you can probably see, certainly our plot neighbour has lost plenty of eating. I'm glad it's died down. And so, the cardoons. That's what I call battered. It's not just leaning, it's clearly snapped some leaves. And we'll just have to clear it so it's not spoiling any potato plants and see what happens. And this one has taken even more of a battering. Obviously it's taken the full strength of the gale. I don't know what I do to that. And maybe just see if it straightens up when the wind eventually stops. Having a look down this side, it certainly had a bit of a blow at our elders, but I think they'll be okay. Nothing looks to be broken. If we have a turn round to look at the fruit, the trees, bushes, they don't look so bad. Peas have survived, they're still standing. I'm amazed because pea sticks don't seem that good when I put them in, but if they stood up to yesterday, then hopefully they're going to stand up to most things. And the fruit cage is still there. I did have some worries about whether that would still be there. It definitely has a rock in the breeze. Making our way through now back to the greenhouse, which seems to have survived intact, thankfully. Shed still there. Quick peek inside, lots of shade from our hawthorn tree, but it is only a bit of shade in the afternoon, so it stops it getting too warm. It gets sun most of the morning and from mid-afternoon through to late evening, so it's not too bad, keeps it cool. And just in case you're wondering about how we fix things, sheds do have to be held down pretty firmly, otherwise they just roll away. So our shed has a couple of posts at the back sunk into the ground to stop the shed turning over in these sorts of gales. So I think that's it. I don't think we've got too much damage. Some of the bits of mesh covering the strawberries have come off, but I think in general terms at the moment we got away pretty lightly. Quite how much longer this breeze is going to blow for, I've got absolutely no idea. Even the weeds have survived. I did miss the sweet corn going the other way, and the sweet corn has been obliterated. I think we can probably rule out our sweet corn harvest this year. They're not just bent, they are more or less snapped at the base. So it looks like we'll be buying sweet corn. That's definitely not going to survive. Like I say, it's definitely been broken at the stem rather than just bent over. Some might survive, but some I'm fairly sure won't. So that's it, you've been round with me. I'm off now, I'm not staying down here in this wind. I'll wait to improve a bit. Thanks for watching. On my first whiz round there was a few bits under the trees I didn't spot, so it has been windy enough to sort of bring parts of branches off if I can get a reasonable shot. And so we've sort of lost a few plums. When you have a look around, there's more plum tree down here than you care to think. I noticed up by the shed there's some fairly large bits of greengage tree come down. We don't get that many green gauges, and there's 3 there. I can get sun. Little tree there. And Tayberry, or Loganberry, it's done reasonably well, although just mind the wafting branches. There are a few branches on this side which will be next year's canes, I think, that have been blown over. I think they'll repair though. So that's just a little addition. I'm now heading home. And if you just, I'll just try and get a picture, because you'd think it was an absolutely gorgeous day if it wasn't for the howling gale.